In Japan, there is an island where the snake population is so large that the human inhabitants face extreme danger. These snakes were not only venomous but also so lethal that the local residents were living in a state of severe fear and panic. Their bites were causing numerous deaths, and the government was failing to take any effective measures against this issue. In light of this dire situation, the Japanese government took a unique step that surprised not only the island but the entire country. To deal with the snake infestation, they devised a strategy to release a large number of mongooses on the island. As you may know, the mongoose is considered the snake's greatest rival. This animal is extremely agile and possesses an extraordinary immune system against venom. The Japanese government's decision seemed very reassuring on the surface, but interfering with the ecosystem created by nature proved to have very grave consequences. Be sure to watch this video to the end to find out what dangerous outcomes Japan had to face because of this decision. Some rural areas of Japan were struggling with a major challenge. In the 1970s, the residents of Amami Oshima Island were confronted by an extremely dangerous snake known as the Okinawa habu. This snake was so terrifying and venomous that if it bit any human or animal, death would occur within moments. The snake's venom was so lethal that immediately after a bite, changes would begin in the victim's blood cells, and the blood would clot in a matter of seconds. In terms of its size, this snake was quite large compared to other snakes. If this snake were to bite a person, they would experience severe headaches, vomiting, and sometimes even death. Since this island was composed of rural areas, only basic first aid facilities were available there. These snakes had made life unbearable for the inhabitants. Within a decade, approximately 500 people fell victim to these snakes. The government wanted a permanent solution to this problem so that the local population could live peacefully for a long time. Therefore, in the first phase, an antidote for the snake's venom was developed. However, preserving this antidote required electricity and refrigeration, and due to the area being rural, these facilities were not available there. This problem was becoming more complicated day by day. Finally, to tackle these challenges, the Japanese government decided to intervene in the ecosystem in 1989. They planned to release mongooses on the island to combat the snakes. Their thinking was that the mongoose is a small yet very powerful animal that can easily counter a snake's venom and would hunt the snakes to extinction. This way, the island could be cleared of snakes. They released the mongooses among the snakes to utilize their natural abilities. The mongoose is known for its agility, strong jaws, and excellent immunity. It is also said that a mongoose not only kills a snake but also eats it. Acting on its plan, Japan released 30,000 mongooses on Amami Oshima Island to eradicate these dangerous snakes. While this strategy seemed brilliant on paper, the outcome was the complete opposite of what the government had expected. The problem was that this species of snake was nocturnal, active at night, whereas mongooses hunted during the day. Because of this, the two creatures rarely encountered each other. The presence of the mongooses did not lead to any significant decrease in the snake population. However, what did happen was that the mongooses started targeting other small animals on the island instead of the snakes. The Amami rabbit, a native species already endangered due to environmental changes, became easy prey for the mongooses. Unfortunately, the Amami rabbit was found only on this island, and due to the mongoose's predation, its population began to decline rapidly. For your information, mongooses reproduce very quickly, which is why their population on the island reached the hundreds of thousands within a few years. Now, along with snakes, mongooses were also roaming all over the island, establishing their dominance. The island's ecosystem, which was already going through a fragile phase, was now on the brink of complete collapse. After some time, the Japanese government realized that their strategy of releasing mongooses was a grave mistake, which was causing more harm than good. The Japanese government then formulated a new plan to get rid of the mongooses. The government faced two major questions. First, how to restore the island's ecosystem, and second, how to control the growing mongoose population. For this purpose, in the year 2000, the Japanese government formed a team of trained dogs and expert hunters to launch a comprehensive plan to eliminate the mongooses. The job of these hunting dogs and humans was to go to every corner of the island and capture the mongooses. To curb the growing population of mongooses, approximately 20,000 special traps were also set. This strategy of the Japanese government was largely successful, and over the past 25 years, the authorities have caught and eliminated nearly 32,000 mongooses. But friends, the original problem of the island's residents, the abundance of snakes, remained unchanged. Now Japanese scientists stepped in to solve this issue and began their efforts. They started research to create a modern and accessible antidote against this venomous snake. Experts from various Japanese universities began working together on this project. For this purpose, a team of scientists first obtained samples of the snake's venom, blood, and tissues to analyze their DNA. This research provided information about 60 genes involved in the venom production process. Based on these genes, not only was an effective antidote developed, but it also raised hopes for treating other deadly diseases like cancer and heart disease, releasing mongooses on the island to fight. Venomous snakes was an extraordinary decision, but it was a form of meddling with nature's system. Such interference was not the first of its kind. Many countries have faced severe consequences whenever they tried to control the environmental system. However, China has managed to overcome many environmental problems using modern technology. Similarly, when a large part of China was turning into a desert, they tried to grow forests there but did not achieve much success. China made great efforts to promote agriculture in this area, which had the benefit of providing employment to people living near the desert. Researchers began planting such plants in this desert that could thrive on less water. Animals were also used to stop the spread of the desert. 1.2 million special rabbits, imported from France and named Rex hare rabbits, were released in this desert. These rabbits brought from France proved to be very beneficial for China because they would dig into the ground to make their homes. When these rabbits ate the grass growing in the desert, their droppings spread seeds across the excavated land, and greenery began to appear everywhere. That desert in China, which was once barren, is now 85% covered in greenery.